Hey everybody, it's Maria, and today I wanted to talk to you about how I did on my 2017 annual goals. Some of these were reading goals, some of them were personal. I think I made progress on all of them. So I'm going to say it was a win-win thing for me. Some of them maybe not as much as I would have liked, but I'm always an idealist and think everything's going to be perfect in the next year. So I did all right. All right, the first goal that I had was to read more Steinbeck. I fell in love with John Steinbeck after reading Of Mice and Men, and I knew I needed to pick up more. So I kind of, did that this year. If anybody is wondering, and you haven't been on my channel long, Grapes of Wrath was, it took over Frankenstein as my all-time favorite book, which is really hard to do. But John Steinbeck did it, and I'm really excited about it. So Grapes of Wrath, I could go on and on and on and on and on about. My husband is very tired of hearing about Grapes of Wrath, but it's just kind of a perfect book in my opinion. Very beautifully written, so many life lessons. I don't necessarily understand why they have high schoolers read it though, because I feel like the things that I got out of it were because I am an adult that has watched friends go through things and seen life be a little hard, and I don't necessarily know if younger high schoolers would understand that. So anyway, I picked this one up. I did also read Travels with Charlie, which is a nonfiction through like his nonfiction journey with his dog to go through America. The Long Valley, which is a short story collection. The Red Pony, which I picked up this beautiful edition at the Strand in New York City when I was with my husband, and it was, also really fun. I did also pick up several books that I've not got to. Cannery Row, The Moon is Down, East of Eden, I am partly through. Vanessa from Split Reads and I are trying to buddy read this, and we just kind of stalled out, and there's no good reason because it's actually a very good book, but I think I just got overwhelmed a little bit. I also got a huge Steinbeck biography at the Strand that I want to read next year. I mean, this is huge. Covers my face. But yeah, so I have read more Steinbeck. I need to get more read, but that's what the future's for. Next up is to have more art history, artists, just different ways to incorporate more art into my books. And I think I did this as well. I read 12 books that had to do with art or art history. My favorite was Oil and Marble by Stephanie Story, which was a historical fiction about Da Vinci creating Mona Lisa and Michelangelo creating the David. They were made simultaneously in Florence. And I didn't know that, and I love it, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I really enjoyed having that goal. I'll probably try and pick up more. Vincent and Theo was another middle grade historical fiction about Van Gogh and his brother. And I just also, that was another really good book to pick up. So if you need any art suggestions. The other big goal that I had was to get over my fear of big books. And for this, I read 6 big books, over 500 pages. I am still in the middle of 2, Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns Goodwin and Winter of the World by Ken Follett. And I'm going to get there. So I'm making progress, surely but slowly. It's definitely been challenging because normally around 500 is when I get kind of scared, but I'm getting there, and I think it's going better. And I found some authors that I like Ken Follett, I never would have gone for. Diana Gabaldon, I'm really enjoying the Outlander series, so yeah, big win. Next up was self-care, and this year I did a horrible job at it. My husband did not as well either, and next year is something we're going to focus a lot more on. I did make some changes this year that probably added to my stress level, like trying to be more engaged politically, but I also didn't do the necessary things to try and also create an extra buffer and margin for my brain, and I'm working on it. So that said, I've got some goals for the new year, working out more, paying more attention to creating margin, and I'm excited about that. Next is journaling and sketching. And while I did not journal and sketch every day like I wanted to, I did do it a lot of days. So I have a little book by my bed where I will write in the top few things of the day and then what I want to accomplish the following day. And that's been a really good practice to have, to just focus on the good and have a little bit of a record. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to journal unless I can write and write and write, and that's just not feasible for me at this point in my life right now. And so this is a good way to just keep going on my goal regardless of how much I could do. Next was to do a quarterly kid allowance. So our kids get a larger sum every 3 months. And it's been really good. We learned that from Bruce Feiler in Secrets of Happy Families, which I really recommend as a book if you have a family. Really, honestly, it's a great book. But he talks about trying to help your kid realize resources are finite, make priorities, practice, patience with self-gratification. And we've really enjoyed it. It's also made it a lot better for not as much whining about, Mom, can you get this for me now? They know unless it's near their birthday or Christmas, they have to pay for it themselves. We obviously take care of their extracurricular needs, but as far as toys, games, those kinds of things, it's on them. Next was book buying day, to do a quarterly book buying day. And since I am no longer, starting in October, I stopped purchasing non-essential things. And instead I'm using my library. Book buying day kind of changed a little bit. It was a really fun practice. I recommend it for somebody who's trying to kind of curtail how much spending they're doing, because it made me really kind of think about which books were priorities and which ones weren't, because I had only 3 days of the year instead of 4 that I would purchase a book, as many books as I wanted. And I spent probably a little bit over $100 each time, and those were at used bookstores, but it was fun. And last goal, it's kind of a hard one. I wanted to be a better dog owner. Over New Year's last year, we went to stay with a friend who they don't have kids, and they spoil their dog rotten. They spoil our dogs that we had. And I really wanted to do better. So I started trimming their nails, giving them better baths, buying them a lot more treats than I had, rubbing their bellies more. Since having kids, I haven't had as much energy for that. And it was making me feel a little sad, because I knew that our time with them was not endless. That said, we lost one of our dogs this year in August, and our other dog is definitely aged a lot since then. I'm watching him over there now, and he's just, I'm really glad that I made that goal work, because, it was good. Buddy got to really enjoy a really, really great last year of life. So anyway, that said, I would love to know how you guys did on your reading goals for the year. I read a lot more nonfiction this year. Again, I had been at a 50-50 ratio, and this year I did a lot more nonfiction. So next year I think I'll probably try and up my fiction instead. So I'll do a whole nother video on my new goals for the year, but I would love to hear from you guys. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.